Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. What are you doing outside my door? Go back over there, I'll be out in a second. Day number 36 of only drinking water. Crazy to think about. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. Was that like an Elvis move? It's the Daily Woo! Miyagi style. Love it or hate it, like it or not, election season is right around the corner. You can even take it a step further and say that election season is smack dab upon us. And this has got me motivated today not to go into politics, but to go check out the filming locations of the David Spade and Chris Farley film, Black Sheep. And what prompted this is, I always am intrigued that when a politician is running for a position, how the public and the press always will dig deep for any dirt on that person. Even dirt that has nothing to do with them. Their family members, their friends, things like that. And that's what the movie Black Sheep with Chris Farley is all about. Chris Farley, one of my favorite actors, hilarious guy, passed away at a very young age, way too soon. And I'm driving up to a town by the name of Monrovia, cruising along on this beautiful Southern California day. I just want to stop off and show some of the spots that I've never been to. This is a good excuse for me to hit up some of those classic spots from those classic scenes from the movie Black Sheep. And we'll do a bunch of other stuff too. It's gonna be a fun day. Check out that cool car. Look at those mountains. Monrovia. Here's an unusual piece of artwork. It's on a metal contraption that makes it spin around right here at the bottom of this little garden area. If you stare at it a long time, you start to get hypnotized. I'm falling deep under your spell. It is cool how just because you're in Los Angeles does not mean you're going to be in the mecca of people and crowds. Monrovia is kind of like a low-key place. That may be why they chose this spot for filming. But right back there are a couple spots from the movie. This road is where David Spade ran in to Gary Busey right down there. It looks pretty much identical, except the trees have grown up a little bit. But right here, Gary Busey came right across here. David Spade sees him, hits him right here in this, pretty much in this exact spot. And then this building looks the same too, where Gary Busey is standing right here and confronting David Spade through the window in David Spade's car. Those windows still look exactly the same.
I'm not that far from dragging you out of the car and beating you into dust.
You should work up to that. Kind of leaves you nowhere to go.
One of the clever things that David Spade does in the movie a few times, he puts his hand in his pocket, he tells the person confronting him, hey, I got a little something for you. And then when he pulls his hand out of his pocket, it's his middle finger. This backfires when an elderly woman gave him a little spiel that he was not bargaining for. It happened right there at that barbershop. If you are familiar with the film, you will remember there's a big political rally here in the middle of the street. This was the exact spot, and Chris Farley is heading towards us in a vehicle and gets it wedged right here under this theater marquee. Now for the movie, they extended the marquee out and they changed the name of it, but this is the spot where Chris Farley first makes his appearance and we realize that he is the Black Sheep. Those pesky parrots. I'm gonna miss those things when I leave California. Oh man, there's another sweet car. They're everywhere out here. I can't get over how beautiful it is. Look at that mountain. You don't have that in Florida. Right over here on the left is a house. And at the end of the driveway is a garage. And in front of that garage was where the voting booths were, where Chris Farley gets stuck in the booth and then busts open the other two booths and scares the women to death.
It's okay. It's okay, man.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. That was where it was, right there. Man, I love Chris Farley. I miss that guy.
Here you go.
And another really cool thing is directly across the street from this is this house right over here, which is where Chris Farley dropped off the character of Scott, the little boy that he was playing football with. That's Scott's house right there. Since I was in the neighborhood, I stopped off at the Los Angeles Arboretum, and I want to try to get an up-close view of a peacock. They're everywhere out here. That's a humongous camera. He's got me beat. There's one hiding in the shade. Trying to stay out of the sun, buddy? It is a little warm out here. These seahorse are made out of metal, almost like gears or chains from a piece of machinery. See, it's chain making the seahorse's nose. That crazy noise you're hearing, that's the peacocks. Whoa! There's one up in the tree! What the heck? It's perching in the tree. I love these birds. They're so gorgeous. Okay, moving on. I'm in Pasadena now, and there it is, right there! It's been remodeled since the movie, but Chris Farley was parked right here in the car. David Spade went in, and then Chris Farley noticed over here some kids were partying in an abandoned vehicle, and he delivered that famous line. Snorting, drinking, smoking, toking. It happened right there in front of the mini mart. My next destination right here on the right. And it's funny that there is a political sign there, because in this very parking lot was where David Spade and Chris Farley were campaigning for Al Donnelly. And it's a Dollar Tree now. But back in the movie was opened, it was a grocery store. This is seriously blowing my mind right now. David Spade coming from this way, hands a flyer or a pen to a gentleman that's walking in the grocery store. And that truck is very loud. And then Chris Farley does a cartwheel right here and does that crazy jig that makes me laugh every single time.
Hi, ma'am. Polka dot.
And right after that, he gets his tie and his jacket stuck in the back of an elderly couple's trunk, and they drag him all around this parking lot right here. I don't know about you, but I loved Chris Farley. That was one of those guys that I always wanted to meet when I was young. I don't want to use the word obsessed, but I was really into the cast of Saturday Night Live between the years of 91 and 95, 94, 95. That was my favorite era of Saturday Night Live. I like a lot of the earlier stuff too, of course, with Eddie Murphy and Chevy Chase and Aykroyd and that. But something about that cast with Adam Sandler, David Spade, Chris Rock, Mike Myers, Chris Farley, Kevin Nealon, that was just like blew my mind. And I stayed up every Saturday night late to watch that as I was younger. And then I became such a fan of Chris Farley, started doing the movies. Of course, Tommy Boy is probably the best Chris Farley movie, and the buddy comedy with David Spade. But Black Sheep's pretty funny too. I definitely shed a tear when Chris Farley passed away. It was right around the same time as Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman and Chris Farley, I think, died within a few months of each other. So that was a sad time for that cast of Saturday Night Live. Really cool to see those spots. I never thought that I would be standing in some of the spots that Chris Farley stood in. So pretty cool. Now I'm heading home, sitting in traffic. Traffic is not fun, but it was worth it. Today was worth it to go up there and check all that stuff out. Gotta pack the monorail up. Always dropping the phone. things never go back in the boxes correctly. I'm not getting rid of this. This is coming with me. The sun has gone down and I don't have enough time to get down to Disneyland to watch the fireworks at the end of the night. But I have the drone, I have the quadcopter. This looks like a good enough spot as any. Disneyland has a very strict 3-mile radius for drones and quadcopters. You are not allowed to take one of those 3 miles or less to the park. I just checked my Maps app on my phone. I am 6.2 miles, so I am twice the distance on what is allowed. So I'm gonna try to get this up high enough to see, maybe if I can see something majestic enough that will show to the screen. I don't know what I'm gonna see. It might be good, it might be bad. You guys can let me know in the comments whether it is worth doing this from a distance. I figured, what the heck, let's try it, right? Let's see if we can see the Disneyland fireworks from 6.2 miles away with this drone, the Phantom 4 drone. This is also the first time I've ever flown this after dark at night. Tell me what you think. The Disneyland fireworks from a distance. Ah, 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 ah.